Hi, I'm Ariel with Homeschooling Together, and you've made it to the last video in our Zero to Homeschool series. That means you're ready to start homeschooling. Now, these videos have just been the basic overview steps. I know that there's a lot of gaps. If you've gone through and watched all of these videos, you've seen that we have in-depth podcasts linked on these. And feel free to ask us questions below. If there's anything that you need help with, we're more than happy to help you. But I think that we've given you the tools to at least get started. You're ready to take the plunge. So a couple last thoughts before we part ways, and thank you for following this series. So I wanted to share, just remember, nothing is ever going to be perfect. Whatever your best laid plans are, that's just totally appropriate for homeschool. You're going to think something's going to be just right and you're going to have to change it. You're going to have to adapt. That you're not failing. That doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you're homeschooling. You're doing what we all do, which is we adapt and we change to the needs of our family and our kids. And I'm thankful that we get to homeschool and we get to do that. When we encounter new challenges, we get to change and make things the best possible experience for our kids. And that is a terrific thing. So don't be worried about being perfect, because nothing will ever be. And if you're still overwhelmed after starting this and finishing this whole series, start small. Just add one curriculum at a time, one new piece. You don't have to start everything on day one unless you have a state regulation that says you have to start a learning plan. Just ease yourself into it. You don't need to start with everything on day one. That might just be too much for you and your kids. So don't get overwhelmed. Start small. The other thing is really focus on quality over quantity. Now, we all have this fear of missing out on these great curriculums, because if you've done some looking into curriculum at this point, you know that there's some amazing stuff out there. And I want to cover all of it. I want to do it all because I didn't get to do half these things in school. And I want to, and I'm sure you do too, you want to give your kids the world and show them just all the wonderful possibilities and have them grow up loving learning and having this super enriching environment. But you can't do everything. So just remember, there's time. We have so much more time than they would if they were in public or private school. You can get to it if there's enough interest there. Don't feel like you have to do it all right now. Don't run too fast. Start slowly, build up, and then when you know what you can handle and what your kids are really interested in, you can get into all the things. Focus on the real quality of what they're learning and not, the quality of how they're learning, of their relationships with each other as siblings, of their relationship with you as the parent and teacher. Focus on that, and the rest of it will all flow. The next thing I would say is you can't do better than listening to the stories of others. I love listening to other people's homeschooling journeys. It reminds me just how human we all are, how we all struggle, even when they look like they have everything together, the problems that they had and how they overcame them. I love listening to these stories, and we've interviewed tons of families for our podcast. I've linked down into the show notes for the Homeschooling Journey series. I highly encourage that you listen to it. We also have a series of interviews with first-year homeschoolers. So really focus in on those. These are people that are just finishing their very first year. We talked to them about what their fears were before they started, what their biggest challenges were, how their perceptions of homeschool changed, how they feel at the end of their first year, we always ask all of our families at the very end of every interview, what do you wish you knew at the start? And what would you want to tell new homeschooling families? And their advice is just priceless. So please, I encourage you to listen to those, find that commonality between your family and theirs, really see all the possibilities within homeschool. And lastly, build excitement in yourself and your kids. Really sit them down, discuss this adventure that you're going to take together, all the things that you're going to learn and the freedom that you're going to have and this wonderful life that you're going to experience together. I can't stress this enough. If you're doing all this planning and work and you want to make everything perfect for your kids, involve them in it. Homeschooling is not a way of education, it's a way of life. We don't say our kids are learning about space. We as a family are learning about space. So involve your family, get everybody on board and everybody excited. I hope that this series was helpful. Thank you for sticking with us. Lastly, just start. Wherever you're at, however much planning that you've done or how much you've figured out, just get going. Homeschooling is really an extension of what you've done with your children since birth. You taught them how to talk and how to walk and how to do all the simple life skills lessons and educational lessons too. Just continue that. This is a life of learning. Don't feel like you got to have all your ducks in a row. Just take the plunge and get started. I know you're going to find joy in this way of life. We wish you all the best, and please leave comments if you have any questions or concerns, or you want to talk more about something, you want to see another video, just let us know. We're here for you. We wish you all the best luck in your homeschooling journey.